Hey guys and girls, it's your boy Mark, and today we're going to be talking about a brand new beast that's been unleashed in the studio, and yes, it's right behind me. I'm talking about the high gain heavyweight Blackstar HT Stage 100. Okay, so I know you guys have been seeing this bad boy at the top of my rig for the past few months. I bought the Blackstar HT Stage 100 back in June of last year on Reverb, and honestly it's been the best bonus money I have ever spent. This thing is an incredible amp. I needed an upgrade from my current amplifier, my Marshall JCM 2000. Now, for those of you that have known me for a long time, know that Marshall's been at the heart of my guitar sound for over the past decade, probably closer to 13 years. Now, I have no intention of getting rid of my JCM 2000 because it is an amazing amplifier, but I needed something that was, one, capable of giving me more tonal options, more variety, and more killing power, because I was having to really crank that Marshall harder than I wanted to get the tones and the sound that I needed during the recording of my last record, Metal Never Dies. So it became apparent to me that I needed something different, and lo and behold, look no further than Blackstar. Let's not waste any more time and let's dive into the features and specifications of this amplifier. This is the OG Blackstar HT Stage 100 that originally came out in 2010. It is a 100 watt all tube amp featuring two 12AX7 tubes in the preamp, one 12AU7 in the preamp, and four EL34 in the power amp. So this thing gets stupid loud. It is a 3-channel amp, and each channel has 2 different modes, so you can technically see this as a 6-channel amp, which really speaks to a guitar player like me that really needs all the options. So let's go down to the panel. You have your clean channel. It has a treble and a bass control, independent channel volume. The only thing weird I can say about this channel is it lacks a middle, and I guess that's what the voice does. By switching from a British to an American voicing, you'll hear the difference soon, but I still feel like there needs to be a little more mids here. But overall, it's a really good sounding clean. These are your 2 overdrive channels, and each overdrive channel has their own independent volume and gain controls. You also have 2 different voicings for your overdrive, a classic and a modern, and you will hear all of those. This is your master EQ for your overdrive sections, your basic treble, middle, and bass. And then I want to highlight this right here. This is the beauty of the Blackstar HT Stage 100 and pretty much any Blackstar amp. This is their patented ISF feature. And what that is infinite shape control. And what it does, basically, is it sweeps your mid-range from either a low mid to a high mid. So if you crank the ISF all the way to the right, you'll get a British tone, which puts your lower mids, your mid sweep to your lower mid. And if you crank it all the way to the left, you'll get an American sound where your mids will be placed in the upper mid range. And then you can get anything in between. As you see, I've got mine a little more to the British side, but I also have it lean towards the American side. So it's kind of almost halfway. And then you have a reverb, and the reverb has 2 different modes as well, a light and a dark, and that can be controlled on the back panel. And this is your master section, volume, presence, and resonance. Okay, so for today's test, we're going to keep it real simple. I'll be using my Dean Cadillac Select, and on the floor, I only have my Tube Screamer and my Boss NS2 noise suppressor. Tube Screamer is only going to be used as a clean boost, and it's cranked about halfway, but no worries. Before we get into any kind of external overdrive, you're going to hear how the channels sound first without it. I have a single SM57 hooked up to my Marshall cab, and that's leading straight into my PreSonus Studio 1810C, straight into Studio 1. So without further ado, this is the clean channel, and I currently have it on the British setting, which is the button facing outward. Let's see what you guys think. really full, and whenever you start digging into the chords, that's when you notice it starts to want to break up on you a little bit, kind of like those old British amplifiers. So this is the same clean channel settings. Only thing I did was push in the button to get an American voicing, and you're going to hear a really big difference. So you can really see where, by switching the voicing, it becomes kind of like a different amp. And this is an American voicing, so it's got a lot more of that treble detail and those upper mids, so it's really clanky. It's really bright and jangly and good for stuff like country or blues or something like that. But I think I still prefer the British sound because of the fullness and the body, and I like the resonance. And that's, y'all, the clean channel without a mid control. So I think that still sounds really good and really convincing, and I honestly don't think there's anything wrong with that. Okay, so this is what we've been waiting for, the heavy stuff. So this is Overdrive 1 with the classic voicing. And keep in mind that I kind of have my ISF right around 1 o'clock, so it's mostly British with a little mid boost, which honestly helps the saturation some. So I think you get the gist there. It's kind of like, I would kind of compare that to a JCM 800 a little bit. Kind of messed up on that, but you get the picture. Now, I don't usually use the classic voicing. Well, so whenever I play rhythms, I typically use the modern voicing, and you're going to hear a shift up not only in volume, but in saturation. Keep in mind, tube screamers off. Now you'll definitely hear that there's a lot going on there, but it also kind of comes with a boxy sound, which is where I start leveling out that low end and tightening it up with the tube screamer. Now that is a heavy ass rhythm tone, and that is the rhythm tone I will be using to record with it, and it can just do anything. It's such a great sound. strings has been out of tune. But it's a really, really good sounding overdrive. And the thing is, I'm only having to use the tube screamer at half power. It's only at 12 o'clock. Whenever I was driving the overdrive channel of the Marshall, I was keeping it at 2/3, and when I needed to play a solo, I was having to go all the way to 3/4 just to get enough boost. But you can clearly hear how loud and how saturated that is. So, guys, for the money, these things go real cheap on reverb. I paid like $500 for this guy. And you get so many options, so many features. So now we're going to move to the modern voicing and let you guys hear what that sounds like. Alright, and this is the modern voicing. And honestly, you really don't need an overdrive because of how much power this channel packs on its own. But this is where I would be doing my soloing. And this is the modern voicing of channel 2, and you're going to love it. That's pretty awesome. The Marshall can't do that. And because we're all gain freaks on this channel, I went ahead and hit the tube screamer just for a little extra growl. Why not? Totally unnecessary, but it's great to have that as an option. Guys, it's been great demoing this out for you. Any comments, questions, or anything else, just let me know. The Blackstar is here to stay. And honestly, guys, the HT Stage 100 Mark 1s go really cheap. I got this one for $500. You get 3 channels, a lot of different options, and it is great for any type of heavy rock, hard rock, metal, anything like that. And it is the answer to the problems I was having. So again, get yourself one of these if you have the chance. Honestly, I think this is a 5-star amp. There's not much I can really knock it on. It records well, it sounds great, and it is a monster in the studio. Thank you guys very much. More content again soon. Have a great week.